The attacks against Hezbollah in Lebanon keep coming, and the embarrassment and defeat for Hezbollah are more and more apparent. Israel is at the beginning of the end of eradicating Hamas in Gaza. They have humiliated Hezbollah on the public stage and shut down all of their weak attempts at any major attacks against Israel. In short, guys, Israel is winning. Even while Hezbollah's leader, Nasrallah, threatened to declare war on the Holy Land as if they weren't already at war, Israeli fighter jets broke the sound barrier while circling over Beirut. The terror and embarrassment of Israel's enemies could not be more apparent, and they should be scared. No enemy of the Jewish state and no enemy of God or the Bible is safe. I'm Luke Hilton, and this is the Israel Guys. Welcome to the Israel Guys, where we believe that in a world of anti-Israel propaganda and Jew hatred, you should have a direct connection to the land and people of Israel. Thank you so much for being with us. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell. Let me know in the comments if you're a new viewer. Always happy to have you with us. So the extent and complexity of this operation that we've all been tracking in the Middle East this week is just becoming more and more apparent. It's just absolutely stunning. It's crazy. The more details that come out, even though Israel has not officially claimed responsibility for the beeper or pager explosions that happened all across Lebanon amongst the terrorists of Hezbollah this week. It's just becoming more and more amazing as the story goes. We're going to get into all of those details, but Israel may have been planning this operation for at least the last 15 years. Yes, that is absolutely mind-blowing. Just so you get an idea of the timeline of what's happened this week, right? Because Israel's enemies are being humiliated on the public stage. They're being embarrassed, and they are scared and just absolutely afraid for their lives, to the extent that they actually could be resorting to just sending letters by courier or carrier pigeon to each other because they are so afraid of what Israel is going to do next. Tuesday, Israel detonated pagers all across Lebanon, killing and severely injuring thousands of Hezbollah terrorists. We don't know exact numbers. Israeli officials estimate that it's a whole lot higher than what Hezbollah is claiming. Wednesday, just when Hezbollah thought that they could go ahead and start responding and trying to retaliate, Israel blew up more devices, this time in the form of handheld radios and walkie-talkies, again, all of them strapped to Hezbollah terrorists. Finally, yesterday, Nasrallah, who's the supreme leader of Hezbollah, right, went on live television from an unknown bunker, probably deep within the confines of Beirut, right, but a bunker underground somewhere, obviously scared for his life, terrified, and gave his response in which he tried to claim that Israel failed in their operation, and this might force Hezbollah to declare war on Israel as if they are not already at war and have been for the last 11 months, but he vowed that Hezbollah's response and retaliation would be very soon. At the same time, you can see these videos. We'll put them up on the screen. We'll link footage down below. F-35s from Israel circled the skies of Beirut and even broke the sound barrier, effectively drowning out Nasrallah's vain pleas and attempts for mercy, even though he was claiming that it was time for Hezbollah to retaliate against Israel. I just can't, I can't even begin to describe to you how much Hezbollah is shaking in their boots right now. And I'm guessing, this is my opinion, that their threats and words are largely empty promises or empty threats. I mean, they've got to be scared to death to use a pager, a cell phone, a computer, a TV, any kind of communication device. I mean, what are they going to do now? Like, Israel's exploded their pagers, exploded their handheld radios. What's next? Probably cell phones, probably computers, laptops, right? I mean, what are they going to do? Carrier pigeons? I know you've probably seen that meme on the internet this week, but I mean, couldn't be too far off of a reality, right? By the way, have you guys noticed something, because Hezbollah is supposed to be this very scary, much bigger terrorist organization than Hamas, right? Hamas is supposed to be like a third world, under-equipped, not, even though they are, they're an awful, horrific terrorist organization similar to ISIS in their brutality. Like, they're not a world-class military, right? Hezbollah, on the other hand, is supposed to be like the much more sophisticated, well-funded, well-backed, well-organized version of Hamas, right? That's who they're supposed to be, like a professional military terrorist organization. And they have a trained military force. They have an elite fighting force called the Radwan Force that's on the Israeli-Lebanese border. They have 130,000 rockets and missiles. Some of them are supposed to be smart missiles. And they've been menacing Israel's northern border for years. Everyone has had the thought that even though Lebanon has been at a de facto war for the last 11 months, that it hasn't quite escalated to that full-blown, war capacity yet, right? And everybody thinks this is going to be so much more difficult than what's been happening in Gaza for the last 11 months. So much worse, so much, more death, more bloodshed, and I don't know exactly what could happen because obviously a full-blown war with Hezbollah would be absolutely awful, right? But what's happened in the last month or two? Israel has begun assassinating Hezbollah's leaders, right? Much of their elite fighting force, the Radwan force that appears in all the scary social media videos, right, has been taken out by Israel. And now their communications have been taken out, and who knows what is going to explode next in the pockets of Hezbollah terrorists. All of a sudden, Hezbollah doesn't quite seem so scary. Now, once again, don't get me wrong, they're a massive enemy for Israel to contend with. Israel is planning, they are giving indications that they might have to go to more of a full-blown war. And it will be horrendous. There'll be a lot of bloodshed on both sides. And it's not yet over. But they are not nearly as scary right now as they were a month ago, okay? And Israel has indicated they have a lot more tricks up their sleeve. Now, you saw Nasrallah's address from deep inside a bunker, right, which he threatened that Hezbollah might be forced to go to war now against Israel in retaliation for the beeper explosions and the walkie-talkie explosions. How in the world are they they have been at war for the last year. At least 5,000 rockets have been fired into Israel pretty much every single day in the last 11 and a half months. Now, there was a horrific attack on the Druze village on the northern border of Israel. 11 Israeli school children were killed in that attack, and after that is when Israel eliminated the senior Hezbollah commander. But they tried to fire, I think it was another 6,000 rockets and possibly smart missiles into Israel, and Israel took out all of those rocket launching sites like an hour before they were scheduled to attack. Basically, they have been at war with Israel for a year, and they would have committed much more carnage and damage and attacks against Israel if Israel hadn't preemptively stopped them, right? But I just think it's amazing to the fact that Nasrallah just went on this long rant deep in his bunker on live TV, right, about how Israel failed in their attacks with the explosions. Hezbollah is going to be forced to retaliate. It's going to be awful. But at the same time, he's like, I'm not sure where, when, how, what. But I can assure you, we're going to retaliate, and it's going to be terrible. Israel has better fear us. They're not going to be able to move their citizens back into the north for a very long time, right? At that same time, while his words are appearing on the screen, Israeli F-35s are breaking the sound barrier above the skies of Beirut. I just think that is just absolutely awesome and so embarrassing for Hezbollah to have your supreme leader hiding in a bunker deep underground, threatening another country while that country is circling above his head, drowning out his words by breaking the sound barrier with F-35s. That is just epic. Prayer is our most profound connection to God, and it's a lifeline in moments of joy and need. But sometimes the words don't come very easily. How often do we wish we could express our deepest emotions to our Creator with clarity and strength? I want to introduce you to a beautiful book. It's called Stand By Me, Hebrew Prayers for All Believers. It's a book that bridges the gap. This one-of-a-kind guide gives you access to 43 ancient Hebrew prayers with English translations and transliterations that make speaking these sacred words possible for anyone. Whether you're seeking comfort in difficult times or expressing gratitude, Stand By Me equips you with the prayers you need for every situation. No prior knowledge of Hebrew is required, just a heart open to the beauty of these timeless prayers. Don't wait to experience the power of Hebrew prayer. You can go ahead and click that link in the description below to get your copy of Stand By Me, Hebrew Prayers for All Believers, and start a new chapter in your spiritual life today. According to a new report, a U.S. intelligence source has talked to ABC News, and they're claiming that Israel may have been planning this attack for the last 15 years. Yes, Hezbollah has been enough of a menace that Israel's been working to take them out for at least 15 years. You can guarantee that. So according to this report, Israel either implanted the explosives in the devices themselves or actually developed the devices, set up multiple shell companies and front companies, and then made sure that the correct devices were all numbered, organized, cataloged, and then sold to Hezbollah, and like made 100% sure that all of these devices went straight to terrorists, right? Okay, so obviously, we'll be finding out more as time goes along, but there was several front companies. There was even a legitimate company probably set up by Israel, BAC Consulting in Hungary, although the Hungarian government is claiming that they had zero involvement in the whole thing. But Israel set up this legit company, right? BAC Consulting, possibly developed the pagers and devices under this company, and then worked out how to get the devices sold, probably through several other front companies or shell companies, directly to Hezbollah. Hezbollah purchased 4,000 of the pagers, distributed them to their terrorist command chain, right? And then all at the same time, 4,000 pagers were exploded. Now, some have expressed concern about the morals, ethics of using tactics like this, right, in a foreign country where civilians could possibly be hurt or killed as a result of the attack. I'm going to put it this way, okay? And as far as we know, there have been 1 or 2 civilians killed as a result, like basically bystanders, but nobody was directly targeted. No civilians were directly targeted at all. So amazingly, an amazing precision strike by Israel, right? But I'm going to put it this way. Every single device that was exploded belonged to a terrorist that was directly working for Hezbollah. Israel targeted 100% terrorists working for Hezbollah, okay? That is an amazing precision strike where hardly any civilians were killed or injured. Although Lebanon is reporting 26 dead with several thousand wounded, Israel estimates that the numbers are a lot higher than that, and every day those numbers have increased. There are also estimates that the elite Radwan fighting force, which I mentioned before, has been that's probably the force that Israel is most concerned with as far as going to war with Hezbollah. These are basically Hezbollah's special forces fighting unit, and they've been stationed along that Israeli-Lebanon border. Before now, Israel's already taken out a large number of the Radwan force, but in these explosions this week, a bunch of the command chain in the Radwan force were taken out. So basically, their senior command chain was taken out. Guys, I have a verse for you. Deuteronomy 28:7 says, "The Lord will grant that the enemies who rise up against you will be defeated before you. They will come at you from one direction but flee from you in 7." Israel is beginning to wrap up the war in Gaza against Hamas because Hamas is close to being eradicated. They're defeated in Gaza, and it will only be a matter of time before they're completely gone. At the same time, Israel's turning their attention to Hezbollah in Lebanon, figuring out, do we need to go to a full-scale war? What do we need to do to deal with them? But at the same time, Hezbollah has already suffered a crushing defeat. Senior command chain gone. Many of their senior leaders eliminated by Israel. Precision strikes, F-35 circling the skies in Beirut, 6,000 rockets that were about to be launched at Israel, including sophisticated missiles, taken out 1 hour before the launch time, right? Israel's enemies are fleeing 7 ways before them. This is a direct promise by God that's being fulfilled right before our very eyes. And Israel's enemies have every reason to be absolutely terrified of what's going to happen next. And the only way that we can ensure that we're on the right side of history is by siding with God, with the Bible, and with his promise that he made to a land and people here in Israel. Guys, 2 quick announcements for you. Episode 1 in our brand new On Location Sovereignty series is going to premiere on September 29th right here at the Israel Guys. We got a special link. You can click down below to watch the trailer, and you can put your name and email in to sign up so you make sure to get first access to episode 1. Super exciting. Definitely go watch the trailer. Can't wait to show it to you. September 29th, episode 1 of the Sovereignty series. Also, we have these really awesome patches. Almost every soldier in the IDF is wearing these patches, whether they're on the Lebanese border or deep inside Gaza. They're wearing these patches. They say Mashiach, Messiah in Hebrew, and they have a picture of the temple on them. We managed to get a hold of some of these patches. They're available on our store right now. The last batch we got sold out very quickly, so we'll have a link down below. I definitely recommend getting amazing patch for you and your entire family right away. Don't wait before inventory runs out. Guys, don't forget to pick up your copy of Stand By Me, Hebrew Prayers for All Believers. The link for that is also in the description below. As always, stop listening to the lies and propaganda and connect with the truth of what's really happening here in the land of Israel. We'll be back soon here at the Israel Guys.